Rikyu, also known simply as Rikyu, is considered the historical figure with the most profound influence on chanoyu, the Japanese way of tea, particularly the tradition of wabi-cha. He was also the first to emphasize several key aspects of the ceremony, including rustic simplicity, directness of approach and honesty of self, originating from the Sengoku period and the Azuchi Momoyama period. These aspects of the tea ceremony persist. Rikyu is known by many names. For convenience, this article will refer to him as Rikyu throughout. There are 3 iemoto, or head houses, of the Japanese way of tea that are directly descended from Rikyu: the Omote Senka, Urasenka, and Mushikoji Senka, all 3 of which are dedicated to passing forward the teachings of the mutual family founder, Rikyu. Early life. Rikyu was born in Sakai, present-day Osaka Prefecture. His father was a warehouse owner named Tanaka-Yohei, who later in life also used the family name Sen, and his mother was Jeshin. His childhood name was Yoshiro. As a young man, Rikyu studied tea under the townsman of Sakai named Kitamuki Dochin, and at the age of 19, through Dochin's introduction, he began to study tea under Takenoju, who is also associated with the development of the wabi aesthetic in tea ceremony. He is believed to have received the Buddhist name Soeki from the Rinzai Zen priest Daron Soto of Nantsuji Temple in Sakai. He married a woman known as Hoshin Maoju around when he was 21. Rikyu also underwent Zen training at Daitokuji Temple in Kyoto. Not much is known about his middle years. Later years. In 1579, at the age of 58, Rikyu became a tea master for Oda Nobunaga, and following Nobunaga's death in 1582, he was a tea master for Toyotomi Hideyoshi. His relationship with Hideyoshi quickly deepened, and he entered Hideyoshi's circle of confidants, effectively becoming the most influential figure in the world of chanoyu. In 1585, in order that he could help at a tea gathering that would be given by Hideyoshi for Emperor Ogamachi and held at the imperial palace, the emperor bestowed upon him the Buddhist lay name and title Rikyukoji. Another major chanoyu event of Hideyoshi's that Rikyu played a central role in was the Kitano Chanoyu, the grand tea gathering held by Hideyoshi at the Kitano Tenman-gu in 1587. It was during his later years that Rikyu began to use very tiny, rustic tea rooms referred as zone, such as the 2-tatami mat tea room named Teian, which can be seen today at Meikian Temple in Yamazaki, a suburb of Kyoto, and which is credited to his design. This tea room has been designated as a national treasure. He also developed many implements for tea ceremony, including flower containers, tea scoops, and lid rests made of bamboo, and also used everyday objects for tea ceremony, often in novel ways. Raku tea bowls were originated through his collaboration with a tile maker named Rakuchojiro. Rikyu had a preference for simple, rustic items made in Japan, rather than the expensive Chinese-made items that were fashionable at the time. Though not the inventor of the philosophy of wabi-sabi, which finds beauty in the very simple, Rikyu is among those most responsible for popularizing it, developing it, and incorporating it into tea ceremony. He created a new form of tea ceremony using very simple instruments and surroundings. This and his other beliefs and teachings came to be known as Soncha, or more generally, wabi-cha. This line of chanoyu that his descendants and followers carried on was recognized as the Sengoku. A writer and poet, the tea master referred to the ware and its relationship with the tea ceremony, saying, "Though you wipe your hands and brush off the dust and dirt from the vessels, what is the use of all this fuss if the heart is still impure?" Two of his primary disciples were Nanbo Soke, a somewhat legendary Zen priest, and Yamanoe-Soji, a townsman of Sakai. Nanbo is credited as the original author of the Nanpo Rokus, a record of Rikyu's teachings. Yamano's Chronicle, the Yamanoe-Soji, gives commentary about Rikyu's teachings and the state of chanoyu at the time of its writing. Rikyu had a number of children, including a son known in history as Sendon, and daughter known as Okame. This daughter became the bride of Rikyu's second wife's son by a previous marriage, known in history as Senshoin. Due to many complex circumstances, Senshoin, rather than Rikyu's legitimate heir, Don, became the person counted as the second generation in the Sen family's tradition of chanoyu. Rikyu also wrote poetry, and practiced ikebana. One of his favorite gardens was said to be at Chishaku-in in Kyoto. Although Rikyu had been one of Hideyoshi's closest confidants, because of crucial differences of opinion and other reasons which remain uncertain, Hideyoshi ordered him to commit ritual suicide. While Hideyoshi's reason may never be known for certain, it is known that Rikyu committed seppuku at his residence within Hideyoshi's Jurakudai villa in Kyoto in 1591 on the 28th day of the second month, at the age of 70. According to Okakura Kakuzo in the Book of Tea, Rikyu's last act was to hold an exquisite tea ceremony. After serving all his guests, he presented each piece of the tea equipage for their inspection, along with an exquisite kakemono, which Okakura described as a wonderful writing by an ancient monk dealing with the evanescence of all things. Rikyu presented each of his guests with a piece of the equipment as a souvenir, with the exception of the bowl, which he shattered, uttering, "Never again shall this cup, polluted by the lips of misfortune, be used by man." As the guests departed, one remained to serve as witness to Rikyu's death. Rikyu's last words, which he wrote down as a death poem, were in verse, addressed to the dagger with which he took his own life: "Welcome to thee, O sword of eternity. Through Buddha and through Dharma alike thou hast cleft thy way." When Hideyoshi was building his lavish residence at Fushimi the following year, he remarked that he wished its construction and decoration to be pleasing to Rikyu. He was known for his temper, and is said to have expressed regret at his treatment of Rikyu. Rikyu's grave is located at Jukoin Temple in the Daitokuji compound in Kyoto. His posthumous Buddhist name is Fushnan Rikyu Soeki Koji. Memorials for Rikyu are observed annually by many schools of Japanese tea ceremony. The Omotsenka School's annual memorial takes place at the family's headquarters each year on March 27, and the Urasenka School's takes place at its own family's headquarters each year on March 28. The three Sen families take turns holding a memorial service on the 28th of every month, at the Mutual Family Temple, the subsidiary temple Jukoin at Daitokuji Temple. In popular culture, he is a playable character in video game Sengoku Basara 4 Sumeragi.